What if I told you one ugly car could bring down an entire company? Sounds dramatic, right? Well, it's happened before, and not just once. Over the last century, car companies have spent billions trying to build the next big thing. Something bold, different, revolutionary. But sometimes, what rolls off the factory floor is so weird, so hated, so awkward, it becomes a joke people remember long after the brand is gone. In this video, we're digging up 3 of the world's most notorious car flops: the Pontiac Aztek, the Ford Edsel, and the Fiat Multipla. Each was supposed to be a game changer, but each turned into a cautionary tale for designers, CEOs, and car lovers everywhere. Were they really too ugly to live? Or did they expose bigger problems hiding under the hood? Buckle up. This is Wheel Mythos. Number 1. Pontiac Aztek, the meme that ended Pontiac. Our first suspect, the Pontiac Aztek. If you've watched Breaking Bad, you already know this one. Released in 2000, the Aztek was Pontiac's big swing at the booming SUV market. But instead of rugged and cool, the world got this. People called it a plastic tent on wheels and a running sneaker with headlights. Decades later, it's still a punchline in car forums and meme pages. But believe it or not, the original idea wasn't that bad. Why it was made that way? In the late 90s, Pontiac needed a home run. Their cars were getting boring, sales were flat, and SUVs were the new gold rush. So the plan was simple: build an adventure machine for young buyers. The concept version actually looked pretty slick: sharp angles, aggressive stance, futuristic vibe. It was supposed to scream freedom, with a built-in camping tent, a cooler between the seats, and a tailgate that turned into a picnic bench. Basically, the world's first party crossover. So what went wrong? What went wrong? GM's bean counters happened. They forced the Aztek to share parts with Pontiac minivans to save money, so the design had to fit old frames and cheap components. The final shape turned out bulky, awkward, and just plain weird from every angle. The headlights looked like bug eyes. The thick plastic cladding made it look bloated. Worse, the base price wasn't cheap, and the fancy camping options cost extra. By 2005, Pontiac had sold only about 120,000 Azteks, way below target. The myth. So did this one ugly SUV kill Pontiac? That's the popular myth. People still point at the Aztek as the final nail in Pontiac's coffin. But was it really that simple? The truth? Not quite. The Aztek's failure did huge damage to Pontiac's image. But the real problem was bigger. Pontiac had lost its identity years before. It went from making muscle legends, like the GTO and Firebird, to rebadged, bland sedans no one cared about. By the time the 2008 financial crash hit, GM was forced to cut costs. Pontiac wasn't pulling its weight, so the Aztek didn't kill it alone, but it sure didn't help keep it alive. Ending twist. Ironically, people say the Aztek was ahead of its time. Today, boxy, quirky crossovers with camping add-ons are super popular. Just ask Subaru or Honda. Maybe Pontiac had the right idea, but the wrong design at the wrong time. So the question is, does bad design still kill cars today? Hold that thought, because the next one proves it wasn't just Pontiac that blew it. Number 2. Ford Edsel, the car that bankrupted Ford's big dream. Next up, we're rewinding to the 1950s, to a car so legendary for its failure, its name became a punchline for business schools. Meet the Ford Edsel. In 1957, Ford wanted to plug a gap in its lineup. They needed something fancier than a basic Ford sedan, but cheaper than a Mercury or Lincoln. The Edsel was going to be the car of the future. Instead, it turned into one of the most expensive mistakes in American car history. Why it was made that way? Ford did something bold. They hyped the Edsel like a movie blockbuster. Secret development, spy-level ads, teasers in newspapers for months. When it finally launched, people lined up just to peek at it. And then, the covers came off. People stared at that front grille, a giant oval mouth that critics compared to everything from toilet seats to horse collars. Not exactly the space-age cool Ford was hoping for. What went wrong? The styling wasn't the only problem. The Edsel was rushed out with bad quality control, poor fits, leaking gaskets, and misaligned parts right from the dealer lot. Add in a recession in 1958, and American families weren't exactly splurging on weird luxury sedans. Ford lost over $250 million. That's over $2 billion in today's money. After just 3 model years, they pulled the plug. The Edsel name vanished, but the myth lived on. The myth. To this day, people say the Edsel was killed by its ugly grille. Too ugly to sell is the standard line. But the truth is more complicated. The truth. Ford's real mistake wasn't just design. It was not knowing its own customers. They built the Edsel for a middle market that didn't really exist. Families either bought a cheaper Ford or spent more on a Mercury or a Lincoln. There was no sweet spot. The design just made it worse. A weird face no one could love. In the end, it wasn't just the grille that doomed Edsel. It was Ford's failure to listen. Ending twist. The Edsel's ghost still haunts car companies today. Every time a new weird face hits the market, like BMW's giant grilles or Tesla's Cybertruck, car nerds say, don't pull an Edsel. Bad styling can sink you, but so can ignoring your buyers. Number 3. Fiat Multipla, the weirdest minivan ever. Finally, we crossed the ocean to Europe, where Fiat gave the world something so bizarre, it became an icon for the wrong reasons. Say hello to the Fiat Multipla. First launched in the late 1990s, this was Fiat's Big B, bet on the perfect family car, practical, compact, super roomy. It looked like nothing else on the road. That was the problem. Why it was made that way? The idea was genius. Most minivans have 2 rows. The Multipla had 3 seats in front and 3 in back. More room for kids and cargo. Its short nose made it easy to park in tight European cities. And the giant windshield gave drivers a panoramic view. But the styling? For all the eyes on the hood, a weird bump under the windshield, like an alien spaceship that forgot how to land. What went wrong? Buyers didn't know what to make of it. Some loved its practicality, but most just pointed, laughed, and kept walking. It won awards for interior innovation and for worst design at the same time. Fiat tried to fix it with a facelift in the mid-2000s, but the damage was done. The Multipla flopped in sales, but lives forever in ugliest car lists online. The myth. So, did the Multipla ruin Fiat? Not exactly. Fiat survived. But the myth is that ugly design alone can kill even a clever idea. And this car is the perfect proof. The truth. Truth is, the Multipla was actually brilliant inside. Families who drove it loved it. But style sells cars, and Fiat's quirky packaging turned most buyers off. The Multipla showed that smart design still needs to look good in the showroom, or it's dead on arrival. Ending twist. Today, Fiat's still around, but the Multipla's spirit pops up in every weird compact car we see today. Sometimes bold design works, but sometimes it just makes people laugh. And car companies keep repeating the same mistakes. So did ugly design alone kill these cars? Not really. But it sure didn't help. Every flop has a story. Hidden mistakes, bad timing, or companies too stubborn to listen. That's what makes these lost legends so fun to uncover. If you enjoyed this, hit like, drop a comment about your favorite car flop, and subscribe for more hidden car stories on Mythos. And hey, if you want to see how it all began, Don't miss my video on the world's first car ever built. Click right here, and I'll see you there. Keep the wheels turning.